This episode is brought to you by Liquid IV. The hot summer months are back, and Liquid IV is here to make sure you stay hydrated. One stick can help hydrate you 2 times faster and more efficiently than regular water. Plus, it has 5 essential vitamins, including vitamin C. Right now, you can get 25% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code BOLD at checkout. That's liquidiv.com with the promo code BOLD.
This episode is brought to you by Sleep Number. It's summertime, where long days and hot nights make it harder to get the quality sleep you need. Sleep IQ data shows sleepers who use their Sleep Number 360 smart bed technology get almost 30 minutes more restful sleep per night. That's up to 170 hours per year. Discover how to get a more restful sleep each night by visiting your local Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com/Spotify. Sleep Number takes care of the science. All you have to do is sleep.
What's up, everyone? I'm Wild.
I'm Seth.
I'm Jacob.
And we're the host of TMZ Verified, a new hit podcast about digital creators and influencer news.
Every week, we interview the hottest social media stars about their love, life, drama, career, and so much more.
We're also giving you a weekly roundup of the biggest trending stories so you stay in the know and your feed stay up to date. Tune into TMZ Verified every Wednesday for free for a rundown in all things pop culture.
Check out TMZ Verified every Wednesday on Spotify. We'll catch you soon.
Okay, everybody. Welcome to the latest episode of All Too Real 2. My name is Michael E. Cullen II, as it always is. And with me today, as always, is...
Sesame, Trout King, and Carter.
Yes.
Trout King.
I just call him Fish.
Yeah.
And, yes. That's what I call him. And thanks for tuning in. That'll be the end of our... Wait, what? Oh, no.
That's it, yeah.
No, stay with us, folks. So, today on the show, we're venturing into the abyss, which is failed sitcoms yet again.
This is my favorite series we have, by the way.
It is?
It totally is. Yeah.
Well, that's good. Hopefully people enjoy it. The episode that we covered today was the pilot episode for a show that lasted like 4 episodes on air, called Go Fish. It ran from June 19th till July 3rd of 2001. Not even a whole month.
Damn. That's brutal.
Yeah. It was created by Adam Hers, who was one of the co-creators of the American Pie film series.
Oh.
This was just shortly after that rose to popularity. And it was developed by Pam Brady, who was a consultant writer for South Park.
Okay.
And it starred Kieran Culkin in his first regular role in a television series.
I thought he looked familiar. I was thinking, I'm like, this kid looks like Macaulay Culkin, but I know it's not him.
No, it's Kieran. The more talented of the two, in my opinion. But
he also kind of reminded me a little bit of that kid from Terminator 2, but I knew it wasn't him. But
oh yeah, it was the hairdo.
Yeah,
that was probably what made you think it was him. I mean, not him, but reminded you of him is the hairdo.
Bit, yeah, that's what it was. It was definitely the hair.
Yeah, the same hairdo that co-star Will Friedle had as well.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Was he from Boy Meets World?
Yes.
Okay.
Will Friedle played the older brother in Boy Meets World and the older brother in this show.
Yeah. Okay. Boy Meets World was much more successful, but
yeah, this was right after Boy Meets World went off the air.
Wow, so he just went straight to another gig. That guy never stopped working.
And then when this went off the air, he went to another short-lived sitcom called I don't know, something, the In-Between Years or something like that it was called.
Okay.
Yeah, which we may cover in the future.
Sounds good.
Yeah, but yeah, you're and by the way, if you're listening, Will Friedle, I love you. Come on our show because he's actually one of my favorite actors of all time. Because he's hilarious and he's a great voice actor.
Yeah.
And he was Terry McGinnis in Batman Beyond, and Batman Beyond is one of my favorite animated shows ever. So I need help. I do. Yeah. And
for liking Batman, you need help?
Yeah, or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I need to see a psychiatrist, much like Bruce Wayne did in Batman Forever. And
that's right. He was literally seeing a psychiatrist. Not as a patient, but as
he was a patient, and then he started. Yeah.
Boundary issues. Wow,
yeah, exactly. I mean, I've seen several therapists, and I've never had one that looked like Nicole Kidman. So, but
so it would be kind of a struggle there.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, I'm getting off track here.
It's fine.
But listen to Will Friedle's podcast that he has. I just like to advertise other podcasts that I listen to. It's called It's called We Hear Voices. Okay. It's with him and Christy Carlson Romano from Even Stevens and from Kim Possible, and they talk to people involved in voiceover and animation.
Cool.
Yeah, highly recommend the Jason Marsden episode and the Kevin Conroy episodes. So yeah. Okay. Anyway, so
nice.
Yeah, they're really good interviewers. So in this show we also have, like I said, Will Friedle playing Peter Troutner, who is the older brother. Mm-hmm. Kyle Sabihy. Sabihy? Sabihy? I don't know. Anyways, as Henry Krakowski. Taylor Handley is Hazard. Doesn't have a last name. Or a first name, I guess. He's just Hazard. Yeah.
Okay.
Kristin Lehman as Laura Eastwood.
Oh, God, she was so pretty.
Yeah. Joe Flaherty, who people may know from Freaks and Geeks, which had ended just before this as well.
Yes.
Where he played a dad, and he played a dad in this. He was also on Second City, and you might know him as, Count Floyd. And as Dr. Frank Troutner. We had Molly Cheek as Annie Troutner. The uniquely Andy Dick as Ernie Hopkins, and Katherine Ellis as Jess Riley. So that's our main cast here.
Yes, yeah, that's everyone. Well,
okay,
main.
Yeah. So initial thoughts here. What did you think of the show?
It was okay. I'd give it about a 5 out of 10 for now. I've watched it 3 times.
3 times?
Yeah, 3 times.
Okay.
The past day or two. And but I would say if I was watching it in 2001 when it came out, I probably would have thought it was like edgier than it is now because I'm so used to, content getting more and more edgy. So I'm trying to put myself back in there, especially in the summer of 2001.
Yeah.
Because that would have been like, I think, my sophomore year going into my junior year. No, that would have been my junior year going into senior year. So
you would have been the key demographic for the show.
I think I probably would have liked it more back then. If I don't remember watching it though.
Yeah.
At all. So yeah, but right now I'd only give it a 5 out of a 10. But,
well, if you were doing anything that month, you probably missed it. It was on so quickly.
I was probably playing guitar lots and just hanging on stuff, and
you could have been doing nothing and missed it too. Anyway, so I liked it, but I think Will Friedle and Kieran Culkin both deserve better, and they have done better before and since then. So yeah, Kieran is currently on that oh my god, that HBO show. I don't watch it, but I haven't yet, but it's really popular. The one with Brian Cox. Succession. There we go. That's what it is.
Oh, I've heard of that show. Yeah.
Yeah, he's currently on that as one of the main characters on that. So, yeah. And he's been nominated and stuff for that, I believe. At least well praised for his performance on that show. So he's done a lot better for himself. Not to mention, you should see him in Igby Goes Down, which he did shortly after this, which is an amazing movie. So, yeah, but it was very American Pie light.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my feeling on it because
totally.
You could tell that Adam Hers had something to do with this, and it was basically like he took concepts from American Pie that he didn't get into the movie and made this movie sort of in a way, and made this TV show. Yeah.
It was like a PG bordering on PG-13, probably maybe PG-13 version of American Pie, basically.
Yeah. So, what goes down in this old fish tank that we were in here?
I'll tell you what goes down. Unfortunately, Gus from Moon Knight is not in this fish bowl, but he might be in a different one. So
okay.
So it starts off with Andy or Andrew, who's the main character. McCall.
Kieran Culkin's Andy Fish Troutner.
And he's got this whole plan because they're going to be going into high school as freshmen. He's got this whole plan of how to become popular, like a 3-step plan. So he's got like a whole pointer and like a chalkboard and all this kind of stuff or whatever. I think it was chalkboard. It might have just been like a whiteboard. But and it's like the first 3 months.
Yeah.
Everyone's supposed to lay low and just kind of not draw any unnecessary attention and kind of what he says have an aura of mystery about them, so just kind of lurk in the shadows a little bit, and then by the new year, a freshman year, you're supposed to then impress a senior with something, I guess, and then that way hopefully you could sort of get like an in with the popular kids, because like, oh well, a senior thinks you're cool, so you must be kind of interesting or whatever. And then the third step was him being noticed by this girl that he's got a crush on, who's a year older than he is, and he's got it all planned out that they're gonna date for like 2.5 years, then they're gonna break up when she goes to college, but then she's gonna feel bad about that, so then she's gonna want to get back with him, and he's gonna play hard to get, and then eventually though they're gonna get married after he finishes law school. Like he's got like the whole like next 7 years, 10 years of his life mapped out already. And then Crack, one of his 2 friends, was like, okay, like what does the third point have anything to do with us, or how's that gonna help us in any way? and that's the whole show. It ended right there, and that was it.
I wish.
I wish. No, that's not how it ended. And then immediately, of course, both of them, his friends, start messing with the plan because they want to rush it. Weird shit too. Like, okay, so like I understand, like, okay, so here's like a real life story. So and it kind of reminded me of this, is the reason why. So like when I was younger, I think it was either 7th or 8th grade. For some reason, there was like this big craze where like there was like a kid who was like selling bottles of Banaka to other people. And like that became like the coolest thing ever. So like he was literally like peddling Banaka. Like,
you know what's funny?
What?
We had somebody in my school too when I was around that age doing
the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, it's because Banaka maybe has like a trace amount of alcohol content. I don't know what the reason was for it, but like it was like the coolest thing ever. So I bought some, and I think he was really overselling it too. I think he was selling it for like $5 a bottle or some shit like that. And like, so he got caught eventually, because you're not allowed to just do business at school, selling your wares. But it reminded me of that because this kid, not crack, it was hazard, which his idea was not very hazardous at all. It was actually very mild. He had the idea that to impress seniors, he was dipping toothpicks in cinnamon oil.
Yeah,
because they thought that would be cool somehow. Like I don't know anyone who would think that's cool.
I did not get that at all. I did not know where that came from.
Was going to be some, I don't know. And
I mean, I liked cinnamon gum. I don't know, but
even that, it's like where you're going to offer a senior a piece of gum, and they're going to be like, "Oh man, this kid's so cool! Like, let's go take him under my wing." Like, what's like, So that was dumb. And then, of course, Andy was like, "No, like, come on, that's not the plan. We gotta, we gotta do, we gotta lay low for 3 months. Then we gotta do blah 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 blah." But of course, both of his friends fuck it up. First, Crack is like super smart and he's really into learning and shit. So he already basically has the reputation of being a nerd, but like a sort of arrogant one who's like challenging his teachers. So it's like already unnecessary attention, Well,
it was the teacher's fault, in my opinion, because the teacher asked him if he wanted to teach the class, and he was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, but it was he kind of had his arrogant thing already.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, as a teacher, you should never ask a student.
No, you should never. Exactly, you should never offer that because. And then, so what else happens? Because that's kind of what's going on so far.
So he gets sent to Crack gets sent to the principal's office. Because of that, and then didn't Fish get sent there too because he stood up for him or some bullshit, and that shouldn't have gotten him sent there.
Right.
And Fish was wearing some cologne that his dad gave him that morning, that I guess smelled like ass or something, and
he was applying way too much too.
Yeah, and. So his brother was off teaching his class because his brother teaches at the school. We meet the other teachers. One's like an attractive woman. The other one's Andy Dick. That's all I got to say about Andy Dick.
Andy Dick being Andy Dick.
Yeah. I don't think Andy Dick can really act as anybody but Andy Dick.
No, it's just a one character thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to see like a production of A Midsummer Night's Dream starring Andy Dick as Puck, or actually you might. That one might work. You're not going to see Hamlet starring Andy Dick as Hamlet.
No, you might have me starring Hamlet and Hamlet, where I just talk about random shit, and at the end of it I say, "By the way, my name's Hamlet," and then no one steal this. Is my fucking idea. I've had it since 2000.
You gotta stop telling these things on the podcast. You know that this is
okay. I trademarked it. It's fine.
Okay.
So it's
okay, just making sure.
Just edit that part out if you want. Actually,
I'm gonna leave it in.
No, Andy Dick. So like, I always think of Andy Dick as being like what Martin Short would act like if he was high on cocaine all the time.
But Martin can act.
Well, I know. I'm just saying, like the jitteriness, like the like.
What's very bothersome to me in my life is the fact that my favorite sitcom of all time is News Radio.
Yeah.
Which featured both Andy Dick and Joe Rogan.
But they were both good on that show, though.
They were. That was the last time either one of them were good in anything.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know, totally. Because Andy actually played a real character.
Yeah,
I mean, he was a little bit weird, but like wasn't like the over the top, like
No.
Yeah.
He wasn't being dickish, as I like to call it.
Yeah, he wasn't exposing himself at Woodstock '99 at that point, and
or whatever the latest sexual harassment charges that he just had recently are.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Shortly before we picked this episode, I didn't even realize Andy Dick was in this show when we picked it at first.
Yeah, I don't think I did either. Oh,
no.
Wow.
Yeah. So the world's a little bit different than it was then, 20 years ago.
Yeah, a little bit. It's pre 9/11, so there's a sort of aura of positivity, like, oh, things are going to be looking up, and and then
So back to this. Okay, Will Friedle's character, Pete, is off. He's a teacher, and he's trying to do the whole thing where he's being a friend to the students, and he lets them.
Yeah.
He's like, we're not going to have tests, and he's going to let them go early and stuff like that, and he wants to have classes outside and all that bullshit. All the stereotypes of this,
like the cool hip teacher,
yeah,
that nobody likes, or they just take advantage of.
Yeah, basically. The one that lets you get away with murder and doesn't teach you a damn thing. So he, he's walking down the hallway, informs his little brother that he smells like shit, and then decides to, the brother, Andy decides that he's going to go wash off in the men's room, and then Hazard, in the meantime, dumps a bunch of cinnamon oil on his private parts. Somehow through his pants.
Which is weird. So, like, how did it get underneath his pants into his... I don't know. And then,
these are the same writers that wrote... one of the same writers who wrote the scene in American Pie, where... in one of the American Pie movies where, Stifler drinks semen. So...
oh, my God, I remember that.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So...
he probably just spilled it on his jeans and probably just seeped through is what happened. And then...
so, of course, then he goes to the bathroom, too, and then they're both kind of, like, half naked, and they... there's a mishap, and they fall on each other, and then we have our first, homophobic scene.
Our first, yeah, exactly. That's a good
yes
indication of things to come. But Crack also falls on him too because he's trying to get to the bathroom as well.
And so
everyone's like, "Oh, it's a threesome of." And it was weird though because one of the girls is like, "What looks like consensual sex with his best friend," which is like weird that she wrote consensual, not wrote, but said it in 2001. Kind of interesting because
well, it was kind of the time where the tides were starting to change
a little bit. Yeah.
So then we have then there's a scene in Andy Dick's class where he's the drama teacher, of course. And they want he wants a volunteer. Nobody's volunteering, so he puts the spotlight on people in the classroom, and he's going to pick the hot girl that Andy likes. But Andy volunteers instead to save her from having to go up on stage and perform a monologue or whatever. So he starts to, and he hadn't eaten all day because he was nervous about school and stuff.
Right.
And so he faints on stage.
Of course.
And people pickpocket him to find out who he is.
I know. Like, what? And why would it matter to know who he is? Just send him to the nurse's office. Like what?
And my thing is how would it be? I mean, I understand it's the first day of high school.
Mm-hmm.
But how is there no one in that class that knows who he is?
I don't know. Especially if he's supposed to be the younger brother of, like, really popular.
Yeah.
It's, named Troutner or whatever.
Yeah.
It was a weird thing. A weird scene. I don't think they thought it through too much.
No.
And plus, too, school had assigned seating, which that was not a thing for me. We just got to sit wherever we wanted to sit. Well, yeah, pretty much.
We always had assigned seating.
No, our teachers actually had to, like, learn our names and not just go by seats. So they actually had to, which that probably was a lot to remember. But
my thing is sure, learn people's names and then maybe not have assigned seating. But the first day of school, you're going to want assigned seating because it's easy for the teacher to then know.
I don't know. I remember. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but I thought you could just sit anywhere. People usually sat around the same seat that they did just because that's where they were comfortable with. But, like, I don't remember it being like a rule, but I could be wrong. It just was a long time ago. But,
so anyways, they pickpocket him. Yeah. He ends up at the nurse, and then the attractive girl the girl he's attracted to comes and meets him at the nurse's office or whatever and gives him back stuff that the people had taken out of his wallet.
Like the free mommy hug from Mommyville.
Yeah.
That can be redeemed at any time. So that was pretty embarrassing.
Yeah. And then what else happens? Anything?
But yeah, a few things. I mean, the history teacher, early on, warned, Pete, like not, that like he's like all enthusiastic now about like being a different kind of teacher. It's gonna shake things up, and he's like, yeah, I'll talk to you tomorrow about that or whatever,
Yeah.
And then
when the world ruins you and you get worn down.
Yeah, that kind of thing. And then he talks to Miss Eastwood, who like he kind of has a crush on, and then he talks to Andy Dick's character, Ernie. Forgot his last name.
He's Mr.
Hopkins? No. Whatever, Ernie something, and
it's Ernie Hopkins.
That's right, Hopkins. And like, Andy Dick being Andy Dick, where he's like, what are you dressed up? Like, what? You look like one of them. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm just trying to, and he like slams him against the vending machine. He's like, you are not one of them. They are not on your side. You have to earn their respect and all this kind of stuff. And he's like, do not become like the other faculty here. When I see them, I see dead people. Because that was like right when, The Sixth Sense was around,
Yeah. That's interesting. It was right around that time. I just remembered that.
I know. So that was like a big joke. And then he's like, I'm going to get my pretzels now. Is that okay? And he's like, yeah, sure, whatever. Just like, okay. So we had Andy Dick, being Andy Dick, of course. And he wasn't really in a whole lot of the scenes. He was only in that one.
And then we did have the principal, who basically called Pete into the office and said, you can't be friends with the students, and you can't do this, you can't do that, and basically
he was letting them leave class early, and like even letting one student just not even show up to class. It's just like, like, dude, like, you can't do that.
So he got put in his place.
So then he disappointed everyone else by saying, oh, well, the first hour was different. We might have some slight testing, or whatever. And they're like, oh, this sucks. I'm like, yeah, no, it's school. Get over it. I mean,
yeah.
What do you expect? Like,
And at least you don't have to worry about, in this fictional world being shot at a school. Anyway, so
exactly, you don't have to worry about that or 9/11 happening.
I mean, this was after Columbine though, so it was around there, wasn't it? Or when was that?
It was like 2 years after, so it's still, but like, yeah, much more optimistic. That was a pretty good year for me, until 9/11 happened, of course, and then the country was on its slow decay as what we're seeing now. Anyway, not going to get too much in that, but anyway, it was a very optimistic time, for that era. You could definitely see it in the TV shows that came out during that time. They're
definitely
kind of silly, kind of dorky, but that was sort of like the mood going on in the country.
So how did this episode end too?
It ended it ended with okay, yeah, so he's in the nurse's office. She gives him apple juice to drink, and then they kind of banter back and forth about that. Jessie was her name, I think. I don't remember now.
Jess, yeah.
She like you said, she shows up and thanks him, for basically taking her place to do the monologue or whatever. And then like the cringiest thing I've seen in a while is he's got a thermometer for his temperature, and he goes, you got it, and like this I can't even and then she like kind of smiles awkwardly, like, okay, and then she walks away. Well, I don't think it was meant to be an awkward smile, but that's what it looked like to me. And it could have just been the actress smiling.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then like she walks away, and then like he like pretends that the thermometer is like a cigarette, and he's like knocking it like he's knocking ashes into an ashtray. Yeah. But he does this when no one's watching, which makes it even worse. Like like really, dude? Like, you know, like there's nobody to impress, and you're still doing this. Like,
I don't know. I used to pretend pretzel rods were cigars all the time, so when no one was around.
Okay, fine, but I don't like it, so. I didn't like what he did. I hated it.
I know.
I hated it so much. It was probably just because that one little scene. But then he goes home, and then he's kind of just chilling out in the basement, and then his brother is like, hey, dinner's ready, blah, blah, blah. And he's like trying to like, you know, like encourage him, like, yeah, you might have had a weird day, but you know, everything's okay or whatever. And then you're right, the second homophobic scene shows up, and he's like, don't worry, like I heard that there was like 3 guys having a threesome in the bathroom, so like that's you know definitely gonna get more news than you know you going to the principal's office. And he's like, oh really, or whatever. And then that was it. That was the show right there. 20 minutes 38 seconds.
So speaking of news radio, I did notice one of the producers of the show is Kent Sabornak, who is one of the producers of news radio.
Interesting.
As well as after this, a future producer of The Office.
Okay.
So yeah, 2 good shows, and this.
And this.
I'm sure he's got other things too, but
I wonder if the next 3 episodes are any better though.
I don't know. May have to watch them someday, but I'm not going to rush to it.
If they're even online.
They all are. I think they're all on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, do you want to take a break really quick and then come back and talk about some reviews really after that?
Yeah.
Okay,
sure.
We'll be right back, folks.
No Outlet Live.
Hey, I'm Jay Remy, host of No Outlet Live. If you're in a podcast that explore any and everything, check us out. We stream anywhere you listen or watch podcasts, or just type No Outlet Live, one word, in your Google search bar to find the show. Live Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Facebook. No Outlet Live, your road to boredom ends here. Do you like Tessa? Do you think this will be a date that can last?
Well, she's not very articulate.
And we are back.
Back, yeah.
Okay, so you want to hear some reviews?
Yeah, let's yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Okay, just a reminder, the show came out in 2001.
Yeah.
Okay, this is on June 20th of 2001 from Dundee the Great. Watch it for the women. Watching the debut episode of this show last night, the only thing that really caught my eye was the chick that played Jess, who I recognized from Days of Our Lives, the chick who played the teacher from Way of the Gun, and a cute little blonde girl. The show is like a modern-day Wonder Years, which stars Kieran Culkin as Fish, a freshman at a new high school where his brother is a new teacher. On his first day of school, he makes an ass of himself, and pretty much that's it. The second episode was much better, where a girl used Fish to make another guy jealous, but naturally he starts to like the girl. All in all, this show could use some better writing, but it's decent. It also stars Andy Dick and Will Friedle. That was the last sentence. It's decent.
Afterthought.
Yeah.
Just an afterthought. By the way,
Andy and Will are in it too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's the blonde girl? I don't remember.
I do not know.
Maybe that was in like another episode or something.
Yeah.
Don't know who he's talking about.
Here's one from August of 2001, after the show was already off the air. From somebody named
Okay.
HMM.
Okay.
Interesting and not very interesting at the same time.
It's a perfect description.
I personally liked the show, but I guess others did not. This show could have been a little better if it didn't focus so closely to Andy trying to get Jess's attention. But the other typical and funny problems teenagers usually have when they start junior high. This was whatever, but I don't know. Different places have different definitions of what high school and junior high are. So, yeah. That's the whole review.
Okay.
Here's another one. This is from 2004, well after the show was off the air.
Yeah.
Why they went in to review this 3 years after it was off the air.
We're 21 years after it.
Yeah, but this makes a little more sense. Like 2004, wasn't that before YouTube?
Yeah, it was. YouTube was like 2005.
Yeah, so I don't know where they saw the show and then commented 3 years after it went off the air.
Exactly, they've been like holding this in for 3 years.
I mean, writing a comment on like the Brady Bunch well after that's off the air and you have no access to episodes except for like on TBS or something.
Right.
That makes sense. But a show that lasted 4 episodes 3 years before this, it's just weird.
Yeah. They're probably holding it in the whole time. Like...
Okay, the headline is, Will Friedle should get his own show. Not very funny television show that introduces us to two brothers. Kieran, I look like Macaulay Culkin and Will Friedle.
Wow.
Whose lives are the prime focus of this show that only got a few episodes on NBC before it was booted. I looked forward to it and found myself disappointed. Last I heard, Kieran was doing a play in downtown London. Should be called Go Figure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's wrong with doing a play in downtown London?
I think that's just what they're just stating a fact there, I think.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it was really criticism.
Okay.
Yeah. There's other reviews, but they're all pretty much about the same.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
That's what we got here. Any final thoughts here before we wrap things up here?
It's a good show to watch, I guess, when you come home from a bar and you're a little bit drunk and you got some Taco Bell and you want just some random shit to watch that's like sort of funny but not really, and you don't really have to pay attention too hard on it, and it's from like a more optimistic era in our country's in world history somewhat, so it kind of, when you're chowing down on your Taco Bell that you're going to have diarrhea an hour later from eating, and you're with your Baja Blast, Freeze, and or the fountain drink, you could sort of be like, oh, this is kind of what it was like when things were kind of okay. And then you just kind of ride that feeling again until you get the diarrhea an hour later, and then you go to bed and you sleep it off, and then you start the next day. So yeah, it's good for that kind of thing, I think.
Or you could just not eat at Taco Bell.
True. Yeah, you can get something else.
And watch something better.
You could do those two. I those two things are both of those.
You could both eat something better for you and watch something better for you.
But if you're in one of those moods, that would be something
that's true.
That I would probably do, actually. And
that's fine. I mean, I'm not.
Like, I would be like, let's watch an old pilot episode of a somewhat bad show.
Mm-hmm.
And, kind of make fun of it, but not really at the same time.
I mean, it is true that this is a little bit more optimistic of a show, even though it has its, like, awkwardness into it. But it's, like, it's more optimistic than a lot of things that we have nowadays. Like, I watch, like, I've been watching recently, like, Barry on HBO Max and Better Call Saul and Stranger Things and stuff like that, and
right,
yeah, and Obi-Wan Kenobi I watched recently too. But anyways, that's just
I saw the first episode of that. That was cool.
Yeah, I saw both the first 2 episodes. Cool. They're really good.
Cool. Not Stranger Things. I saw that they had new episodes yesterday, but
yeah, I'm halfway through the new season.
Nice.
It's pretty good.
I want to watch part of it tonight, probably, or something.
Yeah, it's good. Long episodes.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's the last season, right?
Mhm.
So they're like, yeah.
Yeah, the episodes are long and good, like something. Oh wait, never mind. That's what she said. Anyway, so the I've been watching The Office a lot lately too. But
there you go, and
yeah.
there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, folks, check us out on all2real2.com. That is the best place to find us. Any other site about us is a site about us.
Yeah. Not run by us. But,
no, but thank you if you are
else.
running a site about us. I appreciate it.
Like a fan club? Yeah, totally.
Yeah. If you want to start a fan club, let me know. Mike@cullenpark.com. You can email me there. And check out our social medias, our Twitter, our Facebook, our TikToks, our whatever the next thing is. We'll have that too. And our Friendster and our
Friendster, what was the one before Friendster? There was even one, classmates.com.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. Find us at just, go on the phone onto a party line and you'll
yeah.
Find us by carrier pigeon and smoke signals and
or an owl from Hogwarts, magic owl. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. We have our own, and our owl's not transphobic. And
no, exactly. Actually, one of them is trans, so it's actually definitely not transphobic. So
that's good.
It is good.
Yeah, and so be good to each other, people. Be nice. Help an old lady cross the street.
Sure.
I mean, willingly. Don't just do it and, that'd be creepy. But
yeah.
Don't just wait there on a corner for an old lady to come up, because you might be waiting a while.
Don't do that.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
Don't lie and wait like you're a cat or something like that.
But anyways, till next time, folks. Enjoy life. And go fish. And bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All Too Real 2 podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.